Hello, welcome back to the Nook. I'm Daniel, and today I'll be reviewing Prince Caspian by C.S. Lewis, Book 4 in the Chronicles of Narnia. And before I get into the review, I'll just read you the back description to give you some idea of what this book's about. It says Narnia, where animals talk, where trees walk, where a battle is about to begin. A prince denied his rightful throne gathers an army in a desperate attempt to rid his land of a false king. But in the end, it is a battle of honor between two men alone that will decide the fate of an entire world. So, this is a very good book. It's actually one of my favorites. And I read it directly after The Horse and His Boy, even though chronologically it's kind of different. If you'll remember from my Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe review, there were four kids that came to Narnia: Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. And these were the ones that became the kings and queens of Narnia. So in the time of The Horse and His Boy, they were already established as kings and queens living in Narnia. Whereas Prince Caspian takes place not too long after the events of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, where the Pevensies, these four siblings, come back to Narnia. And if you've watched the movies, you'll know that they did The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then Prince Caspian, and then Dawn Treader, because these are all movies that are focused on the stories where these characters are prevalent. So Prince Caspian is very interesting. One of my favorite parts about it is that they come back to Narnia, and this isn't really a spoiler because it's right in the beginning. But when they come back to Narnia, they're summoned by magic on a train station, and they notice things are different. It's not the Narnia they remember. And they find themselves on an island, and there's a ruined castle, which they think is just some ruins. But the ruined castle turns out to be the ruins of Cair Paravel, their castle. And that's when you find out that Narnia, the way time works, is very different from our world. So they were only gone from Narnia for a short time. They came back and like hundreds of years had passed. So that's what's so cool about this portal fantasy, is that they could spend a little bit of time in the real world. They go back to Narnia and so many hundreds of years have passed. So they find out that there are some people that have taken over. There's young Prince Caspian. That's what the book's named after. Prince Caspian, he has a mentor, Dr. Cornelius, who in the beginning of the book is teaching him things. And you find out that Cornelius is actually a half dwarf. And Caspian kind of grows up hearing all this stuff about Narnia. But his uncle Miraz, who's kind of the villain of this story, his uncle Miraz is actually evil, and he doesn't like the whole stuff about Aslan and the magical creatures. So basically, Prince Caspian has to overthrow the evil in his land, and he needs the help of the Pevensies. So of course he blew Susan's horn. Susan's horn is what would summon them from our world. And so you get to see the character of Prince Caspian and what his life's like, and you get to see the Pevensies back in Narnia. Aslan does not factor in this book as much as he did The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. He does show up for sure, but he was more prevalent in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And certain books you'll see Aslan isn't in some of them as much, but he's always on their minds. They're always thinking about him. And of course, this time around, Lucy had some interesting interactions with Aslan. So yeah, this is a really good book. So what it focuses on, to just talk more about the story, Miraz, like I said, has taken over, and basically the kids have to, with the help of Prince Caspian, overthrow him. It mentioned on the back there was a battle of honor. That was a duel between two of the characters, Miraz and another. The movie, I liked the movie a lot too. The movie strayed a lot from the book. So if you watched the movie Prince Caspian, but you haven't read the book, I think the book's a lot better. The movie added some stuff. The movie did some stuff that wasn't really in the book. And I found all the movies they did based on Narnia, they strayed quite a bit from the source material, but they were still good movies. So overall, it's a really good book. I quite enjoyed it this time around. It's one of my favorites. The Horse and His Boy is still my favorite, but Prince Caspian's up there. I think what I like about Prince Caspian is just Narnia being in ruins, and just how different that is. And it's just kind of a cool look at how time works between Narnia and our world. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in reading this one. I highly recommend reading them in the right order, starting with Magician's Nephew, then The Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe, then The Horse and His Boy, then Prince Caspian, and then you go onward. And so next week I will be reviewing the next book, Dawn Treader, and I'll keep going. And after Narnia, there'll be definitely more content from me. So please remember to like and subscribe. And until I see you next time, you're always welcome at the Nook. Bye.